Whoa.
Just remember, there's other folks watching this, and it's all recorded. Okay.
Short.
If you didn't take the test, you take you only lose 5 points.
Gloosies.
If you don't take it by tomorrow, you lose another 5 points, and after that, it's just going to go as a 0, and it is a test. All right. Also, some of you may be missing the on-campus versus the off-campus section. It was the 4 colleges. It was the 4 colleges that that you had to compare the on-campus versus the off-campus situation, and you're going to have to go back to one of the 2 videos from last week to get the information to do that. Message of Hope paper, some of you didn't do that, which you'll have to go to YouTube and just type in Dave Ramsey Message of Hope. It's a 35-minute presentation with Ramsey and 2 other speakers, and you got to write a minimum 4-paragraph paper on that. Again, all this has to be done by Friday, because after tomorrow, I'm not going to take anything late. And then there was the college budget exercise where you had to go online and do the budget, send that budget to yourself, and then send the budget to me. And the reason that you had to send it to yourself is if you sent it directly to me, it wouldn't have a name on it. I wouldn't know who's who. Several of you made an error on there on calculating what your operating income was. Remember, you worked 20 hours a week at $10 an hour. That's $200 a week. Times 4 weeks is $800, and then you had to multiply that times 0.80 for payroll deductions such as federal and state taxes, Social Security, and those type things. So that came out to like $640, and then you also had a summer job that you were, and from a savings account, you pulled out $300 a month for your operating expenses, and your parents matched that $300. So you actually had, I think it was what, $1,260 or $1,240 you had to allocate. And then there were some fixed costs I gave you, such as a $600 rent, 60 utilities, 40 for cable, 60 for cell phone, and then you had to allocate the others so that the remaining column up at the top, you had expenses budgeted, and the remaining should be 0, which would make it a 0-based budget. You've allocated an assignment for every dollar that came in. You had an assignment for it to go back out, even if the going back out was maybe into a savings. So some of you didn't do that. All right, so you may want to go back and look at the videos from last week to get the particulars on that.
Wait, so what are the videos on?
On YouTube.
Well, like, what's like the channel or whatever?
It's my channel, but 2 weeks ago, Friday or Saturday, you should have gotten the links for this class, for each of your teachers, and also their YouTube channel. So print out that document that's got the links for each YouTube channel for each of your teachers, and each class Zoom channel for each of your teachers. And that's what you should be using.
Well, because I don't know where that email is.
Then I would email Mr. Busman or Mr. Lechnek, because I didn't even get a copy of it. At Scott, he'll send you what the contacts are for each of the teachers, their Zoom class, and also their YouTube class. Okay. All right. We've had a couple meetings because there's been some, not only just at Benedictine, but other places, some problems with Zoom security, and the school's changing a little bit of its policies, which kind of ties into the rep grade. All right, so starting when you guys come back from Easter break, these are the things that have to occur or you won't be allowed into class. All right, so you have to have a recognized username, not just initials or Craig's Crib or something like that. It has to be a recognizable username, right? If we don't recognize it, we're not supposed to let you into class. You just have to watch it on YouTube. You have to have an operational camera with it being on, so we know that you are who you say you are. And there's a letter going out to all Benedictine families today that's going to talk about this, plus give you a link where you can get if your laptop or desktop doesn't have a camera, they're going to put a source on Amazon that you can get a workable camera for, I think, under $10 is what they're saying. We're not supposed to let anybody into class late. So if you're not in class at the start time. Technically, we're not supposed to let you in. You just have to watch the class on YouTube.
Does anybody else have food?
All right. No hatch foods. Your desk can't be your bed. Okay. So those are all that, which also some of this ties into what your rep grade is. You get 45 points for each class you attend, 10 points for checking in at office hours from 2 to 2:30, at least a minimum of one time a week. So any questions or comments on that? Anything I can clarify? All right. Hearing none, we are going to move into, since we finished up chapter 5 and a chunk of you have taken the test, we're going to start into chapter 6. I think this is probably, if not the most valuable, it's one of the most valuable of the book, because you are exposed to this every day of your life. And it's a topic on consumer awareness, and we're on, let's see, about 126, 127 is the chapter. And let's just think about a little bit before we're going to watch probably 2 videos, maybe 3, but at least 2. All right. Some of this data is a little bit dated. I'm going to use what we have to work with. What would you guess is the average number of advertisements that you're exposed to daily? And that could be newspaper, magazines, radio, social media. And this is 30-year-old data. Any guesses of how many advertisements that you're bombarded with and you may not even realize it per day?
1,000.
It's a little below that, and this is 30 years ago, so it probably is 1,000 now, but 30 years ago it was, I think, 576. All right. So advertise is a key way to mark for people that are producing a good or service to market it to you. 40% of teen spending, you would estimate spent on what? Probably think more in terms of females than males. Come on, you guys know this.
What was the question?
No, not food. Unless you're
Shopping.
you got a lot of heavy girlfriends.
Yeah.
Online shopping. I don't know.
What is it?
Online shopping?
Okay, what kind of online? Shopping of what? Purchasing what?
Clothes.
Clothing trends. We're big into logos and name brands and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
We're going to talk a little bit about 90 days same as cash. Whether you're buying a laptop, the newest PlayStation, or whatever. A lot of places will advertise 90 days same as cash, meaning that you don't pay any interest on it. On average, how many people pay off in 90 days?
60%.
Lower.
45.
Lower.
35%.
10.
Lower.
30.
Almost 25%. On average, only 25% pay off in the 90 days, same as cash. And they know that. They know that. That's what they're making their money is on interest payments. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Who's my Latin majors? Latin, not Latin.
Yes, sir. Hunt is. Hunt.
Sir, Latin major.
Henry Hunt.
Henry
Don't ask Hunt.
All right,
Hunt.
Mr. Hunt. New terms in chapter 6. One of them is caveat emptor. What is that? What's the English translation of that?
Come again?
Caveat emptor. What's that mean in English? Anybody
School?
taking Latin?
Good job, Hunt. Dumb the man is. Hunt, get on.
Jacob takes Latin.
Hunt takes Latin. Hunt's a Latin
Jacob
boy.
takes Latin.
I take
Come on,
Latin.
you Latin guys?
Sir, that means. Jacob, help me out here, bud.
It means Hunt has a poop face.
Oh.
Come on.
Neighbors take
Mean
it
like
back.
buyer something. I don't know.
Do
Neighbors,
you
take
know
that
what
one back.
either caveat or
Only
import
proper
means? One of the two words?
Caviar?
Fire.
Buyer. Buyer beware.
Jacob, good job, bro.
Buyer beware.
Sir, I think it means poppy seed bagel.
All right. Thanks, Mr. Dunleavy. Thanks for bailing Mr. Williams out, since he probably missed.
Ooh.
Mr.
All
Gavin, kind of cook.
Poo-poo suit boo-goo.
All right. What's buyer's remorse?
Start slamming.
Have you had buyer's remorse, or do you know what it is?
I've had it before, sir, but I can't recall what it felt like.
Okay. Anybody? It's usually on big ticket items, and it means you go out there and you spend $6,000 on a car.
So you like regret it?
Or when you wake up, it's like, oh, I really shouldn't have bought that. I kind of regret it. I maybe pulled the trigger too quick. I maybe didn't do
Oh,
some
Google,
research.
Google that.
I maybe overpaid for. We're going to talk about buyer's remorse. And kind of tied into that, we'll jump down here. We'll jump down a little bit. Opportunity costs. Anybody want to take a stab at that one? If I go out and spend $7,000 on a new Jeep or a new used Jeep, all right, I no longer have that $7,000. So I can no longer, the cost of buying that Jeep is not only the monetary value, that's going to alter or affect anything else I'm going to be buying, probably at least in the near future, and maybe in the somewhat distant future. So those are opportunity costs. If I spend $7,000 on a new used Jeep, I don't have that $7,000 to buy the latest Nike pair of tennis shoes, or go to the latest concert at Innsbruck this summer when it opens back up, and that kind of thing. Those are what's called opportunity costs. And we're going to talk about marketing a lot, and we're going to talk about financing a lot. So that's some of the things that we're going to address here. And we're going to watch a video if I can get it fired up. Any questions before I get it running?
No, sir.
Yeah, what do you plan to do about Dugan? Just looking out for his best interest.
Ooh. Wait.
Hunt, get on. Hunt, yep. Hunt, get on.
All right, give me a second. We're going to share screen. Go here, here.
Good, sir.
Your son is so good.
There.
Sir. This show reminds me of Jamie Yickman a little.
Let me get the audio up to speed. Let's see. Disable share.
Neighbors to the face.
I got rooms.
Good neighbor.
Trying to get the audio turned on for you guys.
Jacob, wake up. Good the Red Sox are, Jacob.
Yeah, shut up.
Jonah, I swear, if I hear your high-pitched voice one more time.
Or what, bro? Bro.
I can't hear any
I'm coming,
sound.
I'm pulling you out the trap.
You guys hear the sound okay?
No.
No. Let me find where the hidden switch is for that. Hidden video panel. Why this isn't more user friendly. Let's see. It's here somewhere. Integrated webcam. Choose visual. Let's see. Let me get it going and I'll
Nope. No sound.
Can you hear it better now? You guys hear it better?
No,
No?
no.
Rats. All right. Audio settings. Let's see if it's on somehow.
Booty hole.
Speaker.
Studi who?
Let's do this. Let's turn it up. All right, see that?
Barely.
Better?
Barely.
There we go.
It's like all robotic.
What do you mean robotic?
It's not clear at all. You can barely
I
even
think
hear
it's kind of
what's
cute, to
going
be
on.
honest.
Let's try something else.
It sounds
Good neighbors.
scratchy. It's just like it keeps going in and out, but it's like really
Sure, it
low.
sounds kind of hot.
Okay. Let's do this.
You can just try restarting your computer. That's what Mr. Reardon did.
All right, well, I had it the other day.
He's cooking, sir.
I'm not cooking. I'm just saying. That's what Sheridan did.
Hey, Dugan.
Hi, buddy. I miss you.
Jokes.
Hunt, he
Miss
hit.
you, Jonah.
Hunt, he hit.
All right.
Yeah.
Do that. Do that. There we go. Let's do that. That should do it. Let's see. Now this should do it.
Oh, shoot. That's loud.
There we go.
Here we go.
Loud.
Turn your volume down. I'll turn this down. Maybe it won't come through.
Oh,
We
wow.
live today in the most marketed to culture in the history of the world. Let me say that again so that you really grasp it. We live today in the most marketed to, advertised to, sold to culture in the history of the world, right here in the United States of America. And if we are going to have financial peace, two words that don't go together, we are going to have to develop a resistance to that marketing.
129, 130.
Not that buying things is bad necessarily, but buying too many things with money we don't have to impress people we don't really like is a bad idea. We have to stop and think about this. When I got in the real estate business at 18 years old, they taught us for the real estate test, they taught us a Latin phrase. It's probably the only Latin phrase I know. So I'll brag and use the one that I know. It says caveat emptor. And caveat emptor means buyer beware. Buyer beware, because in the real estate business, typically the home that is listed, the seller is paying the commission both of the agent that has the sign in the yard and maybe of the agent that's bringing you to look at the house. And so technically speaking, in that situation, the buyer does not have representation. And so we were taught to teach the buyer to beware, because we're supposed to represent the person paying us in that situation, the seller. Now, agency laws have changed, and now we have buyer's representation for agents and other things. But generally speaking, that's where that comes from. And just when you think about marketing and people selling us stuff like crazy, that's a good idea to just say, buyer beware. Now, I'm not saying it's bad to buy things. Again, I'm not one of those financial guys who says you can't have a good time. I want you to live like no one else so that later you can live like no one else. We're going to keep doing that over and over because we want to really stick that down in our spirits. We want to sacrifice to win, and then we want to enjoy the winning. So there's nothing wrong with buying a product or enjoying a good product. There's nothing wrong with participating in buying something from a good salesman. A good salesman is fun to buy from. They have a servant's heart, and they know how to sell, and they're professional at what they do, and it makes the whole process, well, it makes the whole process pretty fun. Today, companies use every possible angle to aggressively compete for your money. The company that is not sophisticated in their marketing, the company that is not aggressive in their marketing, the company that does not have a marketing budget generally doesn't stay up. Competition is too fierce for the consumer dollar. You know, all you got to do is walk down the mall to see this. You got 63 stores selling the same stuff, and competition is too fierce to get your dollars, your precious dollars, to engage you. And they are very good at what they do.
Paging Carl. Carl, you got a call on line 4. Carl, line 4.
Hey, how you doing today? Yeah, good to see you. Come here a second. I want you to have a seat in this car and smell that fine Corinthian leather. Ah, it's lovely. It's got Bluetooth, and it also has a surround sound with an iPod dock. You do have an iPod, don't you? Oh, hey, listen to this. Listen. 0% for the first 2 weeks, and it adjusts monthly after that, okay? Because you'll probably want to get the full roadside coverage on this deal. Oh, and this little rain sensing wiper has one of those. Well, of course, it's got that. Converters. It's got the twin ace ply. It also has wheel locks, so you don't lose these customs. Either way, it's a win-win situation. Stop. I'm not going to do this to you. I knew it the second you walked up. I said, I like this person. I want to give you the insider deal, okay? Now, I don't know if I can make this happen because I need to get manager approval on this deal, but I'm going to do my very best, okay? You just hang on, sit tight, don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I cannot believe the manager just approved this deal. This is unbelievable. I am sure that you are aware that all the cell phone companies are battling to get their phones installed in new cars. Now, currently, the cell phone companies are underwriting our car leases. Now, I checked with your cell phone provider, and we can add this car lease to your current phone contract. Here's how it works, okay? Now, anywhere you drive during the day counts toward your base miles. But if you go over your mileage in any given month, the rates will double. Now, you can drive anywhere you want to between the hours of 7 p.m. and 1 a.m. on nights and weekends, as long as you're going to see someone that's on your plan, okay? Now, if you drive long distances, long distance rates will apply. Now, the best part about this deal is that rollover miles will be included in your first year. What do you think about that? Huh? No, what? Wait, no, hey, we'll throw in the undercoating. Yeah, and the overcoating, and a free cell phone.
Let's see here. All right. What'd you think? Comments? Thoughts?
That really makes sense if you think about it. I mean, like, it makes sense.
I'm actually helping my daughter purchase a car right now, and even though that was a little exaggerated, they're using still some of the same tactics. All right, so that's part one. We're going to grab part two since we've got sufficient time. Give me 1 second to grab the next video, and hopefully the sound will stay as it's supposed to. Everybody seeing and hearing it? I take that as a yes. Mr. Neighbors, Mr. Lambert, somebody?
I can't see it.
You can't see it?
No.
Okay. All right. One other, make an adjustment here. Let's do this. Share. There we go. This should work.
Yeah, it worked.
All right.
Daphne, you're a genius.
Yeah. We're getting there. Learning curve for everybody. So many different things you got. All good now? You see and hear it?
All good, Mr. Gaffney.
American Demographics says that in 1971, the average American had 560 advertisements flashed in front of their face in a given day. Today, according to the book Affluenza, which is a great book, by the way, that guy says in studies he's done that it's between 3,000 and 4,000 advertisements a day. that you and I are having flashed in front of our faces. This stuff is a real deal. And a child born today will see over 1 million advertisements before their death. That's bizarre. And that stuff works. That's why they do it. They don't do it because it doesn't work. Why would you spend millions and billions of dollars on something that did not have an effect? When you advertise a certain way and you see results, you will advertise and spend those dollars again. That's just good business. And it's not evil. I'm not mad at these companies. But you and I need to be aware, to beware as consumers. A Harvard study found that for every hour of television per week you watch, you average spending an extra $200 a year. There's a direct connection with the number of hours you spend in front of the tube and your spending. Why? Because there's a lot of advertisements on there. Plus, they show these families that seem to have everything that my family doesn't have. And we think we need to go get it, and we need to go get it right now. Sad thing is this right now, advertising directed at children, according to the New American Dream study, this year, advertising directed specifically at children, $15 billion will be spent. They're teaching our kids consumerism. Again, I don't think this is evil. I'm not paranoid about it, but I am trying to sound a horn and say, wake up! We can't live like this and win. So, what are we going to do? Well, we have to be aware of stuff. I mean, it's sophisticated. The Sony stores now are putting certain scents in the air when you go in at different times of the day. If it's a busy time of day, to relax you a little bit, and other times of the day to pep you up a little bit. You go in Bloomingdale's, different departments have different scents now. You go in the baby department, you'll probably smell a little baby powder in the air. Makes you kind of feel like babies are there. And just buying stuff and buying stuff and buying stuff and buying stuff and buying stuff. So what we've got to do is we have to identify the enemies of our financial peace in this process. And they are enemies. They're not enemies in the sense that they're evil or somehow we have to do battle with them, but we have to be aware of the techniques and the processes these companies are using, and when we are, then we're more wise as consumers. The first of these is personal selling. Oh, we are good at selling in this culture, and I'm a good salesman. I sell ideas for a living now. But I've been selling all my life. I grew up in a salesman's household, and I love salespeople. I really enjoy buying from a good salesperson. And I really can't stand being around an amateur that just, rubs you the wrong way. They're just abrasive. I don't want to be near these guys. People who know how to sell, well, they spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars and thousands and thousands and thousands of man hours sitting in a classroom learning how to talk to you in a certain way, to serve you, to assist you in your decision to buy their stuff. Zig Ziglar's brother Judge wrote a book years ago. He said the title of it was "Timid Salesmen Have Skinny Kids." If you're going to be good, you better be good at it. It's not a game. The car salesman that is unprofessional and you walk up and you ask a question about a car and the car salesman just answers the question. Now this gal will be out of the business in a little while. We're taught the very first thing in Salesmanship 101 is you never answer a question except with another question. Oh, do you have this? Do you have this Ford Taurus in blue? Tell me, were you looking for a sport version or possibly the four-door for the family? Tell me about your situation. Well, we're thinking maybe the four-door. So is safety a big concern, or are you more looking at gas mileage or performance? And you begin to answer questions with questions, and every time there's another answer to the question, there's one more item on the order blank that has begun to be filled out. Do you want the one with 4 wheels? And when we finish filling it out, voila, we don't happen to have that here, but we can get it for you. We'll have it here by this afternoon. So we can go ahead and do the paperwork. You can drive the green one. We'll have the blue one delivered, and it'll be here this afternoon by the time we get the paperwork done anyway. So we'll test drive this one, but just think blue while you're driving green. And they don't even have to have it on their lot. They'll have it from a dealer across town on a cross-purchase agreement, and it'll be there in no time. And that's how the business works. And the National Auto Dealers Association knows that you won't be back. As a matter of fact, they do studies on be-backs. when we're on the car lot and we say, we're looking and we test drive and we're starting to bite, you're starting to enter into the sales process, and you say, well, we're just looking around, we'll be back. In the car business, they call those be-backs. You won't be back. 88% of the time you don't return, because by the time you're test driving, you have car fever. You will purchase a car within 72 hours on average. And you will buy it somewhere within that period of time, and you will not do it in a second decision process. 88% of the time, you won't be back. And the salesmen know this in the business. They're trained. You don't even know this about you. But they know what's going on, and so they've tried everything, and you're still leaving thinking you're going to be back, and you look down and there's something around your ankle, and it's the salesman. Because they know they're professionals at what they do. It can't be called a game when you enter into the arena of purchasing something in America today. The second thing is financing. They use money and easy payments as a marketing tool, don't they? Oh, don't think about how much, just think about how much down and how much a month. And no interest. It's all free. Everything's free. We're just going to give it to you just because we love you. Right.
Travis sends me an email. He's 21 years old in college. He says, should I take advantage of 0% interest? Spoken like a broke college student wanting to buy something you can't afford, Travis. No, you don't want to take advantage of 0%. That really tells me, dude, that you have no money. That's what it tells me, and you have something you want. You don't take advantage of 0% interest. It takes advantage of you. 88% of the people that take out 90 days, same as cash, don't pay it off in 90 days, Travis. What that means is they backcharge you through the whole contract at their ridiculous rip-off finance company rate, 24%, 28%, 38%, and that's basically kicking your butt for being so dumb to have bought something that you really couldn't afford. Let me tell you how you can tell if you can afford something, if you have the cash to pay for it. That's when you know that you can possibly afford it. Hope that helps you, man. This is the Dave Ramsey Show.
And so you really have to be careful about this. The latest one, of course, that's been a big deal, huge marketing plus, has revitalized an entire industry. 0% car interest. Everybody went and bought a new car all of a sudden, and the car market was dying. And it drew people in like a moth into a flame. 0% dead. Now, C&W Market Research has found that only 1/3 of car buyers that hit the lot looking for a 0% interest deal qualify. And 91% of car buyers finance their new cars. So what this tells us is almost everyone finances their car when they hit a new car lot, and they go in looking for the 0, and 2 out of 3 times they don't get the 0, they get transferred off and are paying interest. But by then, they're so far into the buying process that we emotionally don't put on the brakes, and we drive home with leather's toxic smell. And we feel good now because we got a new car. And we got sucked right in because, Dave, 0 interest. Who can beat 0 interest? I can beat 0 interest. If a car, as we've discussed in the debt lesson, is losing 70% of its value in the first 4 years, that's not 0%. It's going down in value like a rock. That's where Chevy got that, like a rock. Oh, if you think I'm picking on Chevy, it's found on the road depreciated for Ford, okay? They're all going down in value. There are no exceptions to that. That's how it works. Financing is a marketing tool.
All right. Thoughts or comments? Questions? On a 30-minute television show.
Random.
Can you hear me all right? Can you hear me okay? Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
30-minute television show. How much 30 minutes is actually the show? Today's world.
Like 15.
20 minutes.
It's right around 21 minutes. It varies, but right around 21. It could be 20, it could be 22. So that means almost a third of that 30 minutes is advertising. As he talked about, advertising, it wouldn't be all around us, and you wouldn't be bombarded with that 576 number I gave at the beginning of class from back in the 70s is now over how many thousands he said. If it didn't work, they wouldn't be doing it. So it's definitely working. I mean, look at your social media sites. Much of the advertising now is on the adjacent pages of Facebook and these other social media sites. Go on to your computer and search some video game or some piece of electronic equipment. Next time you get on Facebook, all of a sudden you see that's sprinkled under your news link there of products identical or similar to what you had just been searching for. All right. So when we come back on Monday after the Monday of Easter, I'm gonna give you a worksheet, and you're gonna watch a 30-minute show of your choosing, and you're gonna analyze 2 commercials that come up during that 30-minute show. That's one of the projects we're gonna do, and then we may do a group project or 2. I'm gonna try that. We can break out into groups on this and analyze a couple other things that are going on in the advertising and marketing world and consumer awareness world. So, any questions or comments before I go over just a couple last minute housekeeping chores?
Mr.
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
I don't got cable, so I can't watch any TV shows.
You watch any TV shows? Can you get it through? And I'm by no means an expert through like Zulu or was it Ruko and some of the other things.
Yeah, I
Can
don't
you
have
watch
cable
those?
either.
I mean, it could even be an old rerun of a show that was popular 5 or 10 years, 5 or 10 years ago. It doesn't necessarily have to be a current in production show.
Can it be like The Big Bang Theory?
Yeah, I mean, it's of your choosing. And I'm going to give you kind of a worksheet template, and you're going to watch the show, and you're going to, at your discretion, select 2 commercials and answer a series of questions, and also to kind of provoke some thinking of, okay, what's actually really going on here? What are they trying to do? What are kind of the tricks of the trade? But I don't think we've got enough information or knowledge on this advertising and consumer awareness stuff until we went through a couple more discussions similar to what you just saw, and we'll do that when we come back after the Easter break. Other questions or comments?
I have a question, sir.
Yes, sir. Mr. Philauer.
So we've had like what, 3 quizzes?
You've got 2 quizzes that we had on chapter 4 back a couple weeks ago, and then this was the one online through the digital.com was a test on chapter 5.
Okay, so 2 quizzes. So are they are those 2 quizzes, are they both on that website?
No, the quizzes are on Blackboard, so just go back to somewhere and
Because I only have
under the assignments.
that quiz,
It's
but I don't have this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to go back to Blackboard on the week before March 20th to pull those quizzes down.
No, I am. I have the link for the first quiz, but I don't have the link for the second one. Like I took the first one.
They may be hooked up together. I can't recall how I installed it because that was like a month ago almost.
Okay, well.
Get the one you got, print it out, and then tell me the one you don't have, and I'll try to send you an email copy of it.
Okay.
Sir, where's the test on Blackbox? It's not showing up.
Yeah, it's on the digital site.
Oh, what do I have to do? Where do I have to go for that?
Yeah, I don't see it either, Mr. Gaffney. No, I just went on there.
Go to just like remember when you set up that digital account? Because
yeah,
some of the class. So go to I think it's just type in foundationsdigital.com and you created. I can see you have an account. Use your username or password to open it up, and it's chapter 5 test.
right.
Selma.
Right. Other questions?
Gaffney, did you receive my my part 2 of the quiz? That quiz they were talking about?
What the digital one?
Jonah.
The one on paper.
I received your budget that you did.
I know. I emailed you. You asked for the second part of the quiz, and I emailed you.
Yeah, I got that.
What?
It's Gaffney. It's the
George.
post test, right?
Go ahead, Mr. Tennyson.
It's the post test.
Correct. Post-test. Thank you. That's a good question. Post-test.
Okay, all right, I see
This
it.
is after. Pre is before. We're taking the one after because we've already finished that chapter.
All right, and that's all right. How long? Like, is it timed?
It is not timed.
Okay, all right.
That's not Flexi Quiz. This is on the Ramsey website.
All right, and then also, did you get? I sent you. Did you get everything that I sent you?
Usually when I get something, I try to acknowledge and say, thanks, got it, Mr. G, something to that effect, so that you know that I've got it.
I sent you those two. Remember, 'cause
Stack
you
of
had
things to grade.
like those two quizzes that, like the quiz that you. I think like we had trouble getting. I sent.
Let me look back real quick. If you've got, I'm still showing it blank. It may be in my stack here, but if you've got them handy and you can electronically send them to me again, that would ensure I've got them. We're not ensure, but close to it. But I'm still showing that as blank, but they may be in my stack here.
Okay.
Okay.
We have to come to your office hours, right?
Yeah, 2 to 2:30.
All right. I'll be in there probably. Yeah, I'll be in there.
Okay. All right. We're coming right up on 12:50, so just want to tell everybody happy Easter. Stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you in about, what, 10, 12, 13 days, whatever it is.
Yeah. See you, sir.
When you come back, you've got no hats, no vaping, no eating, no beds for desks. All right. Otherwise, they're don't kill the messenger, but they want us to not have you in the classroom for various reasons.
Yes, sir.
Have a nice Easter. We'll see you in about a week and a half.
See you, sir.
Okay.
All right, be easy, Mr. Gaffney.
All right. You take care.
All right.
I'm the governor.
See you, Mr.
George.
Lambert.